In this video, we're going to examine how to simplify rational expressions by using -1. And what that means is we are going to be applying our concept of the additive inverse. We looked at this in a previous video very briefly. Now we're just going to go in depth in this process. The additive inverse means that if you have a binomial that is dealing with the operation of subtraction, so let's say a minus b, and I have another one where I have the same terms, a and b, but they're switched in position around that minus sign. They are additive inverses of each other. What you can do is take a -1, factor a -1 out of this expression. And what that allows me to do is to change the signs. So this b is positive, so now the b is going to be negative. The a was negative, and so now it's going to be positive. And so now you see you have the same factor. We can actually cancel it out. And so what this means is that if you have a minus b over b minus a, we could simplify it down. They both have the a minus b in common. You're left with 1 over -1, which is -1. And so a minus b over b minus a simplifies into just -1 from it. So let's try an example of this. I have 4w squared minus 3wy times w plus y over 3y minus 4w times 5w plus y. What we're going to do is just make sure our numerators and denominators are completely factored before we get started. So if I look at my first parentheses, 4w squared minus 3wy, I see they both have a w in common, so I can take that out. And that gives me 4w minus 3y. This w plus y cannot be simplified any further, so we leave it alone. I cannot simplify this 3y minus 4w on the bottom. And the 5w plus y cannot be simplified any further either. And so everything's completely factored. Can I cross anything out? We see w plus y here, but on the bottom we have a 5w plus y. It's not the completely same object, so we cannot cross them out. But if I look here, I have a 4w minus 3y and a 3y minus 4w. I see I have the same terms in opposite positions around a minus sign. And so what that allows me to do is I'm going to keep the top exactly the same. And from the bottom, I'm going to factor out a -1. So I'm left with, on the bottom, -1 times, and that rotates the positions. The 4w becomes positive, the 3y becomes negative. And I just write down the 5w plus y. And now I look, can I cancel anything out? Well, I can cancel out this factor now. They have the same one on the top and bottom, the 4w minus 3y. Remember, we never show a negative on the bottom, so we're going to move that negative to the top. So -1 times w gives me -w times w plus y over 5w plus y. And that is my completely simplified expression. So in this video, we want to look at the additive inverse. That if you have the same terms and opposite positions around a minus sign, you can actually flip their positions by factoring out -1, and that allows you to cancel out and simplify from there.